Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our second episode of the Sphere Rocket podcast. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's happening so fast. I just honestly confirmed this episode on Monday with Bella, and I'm gonna introduce you guys to her later. But yes, everything happened so fast. I just want to say hello and good evening. My name is CK. If you guys are new here or if it's your first time in our YouTube channel, I'm the content manager here at the Sphere Rocket VA team. And with me today, we have a special guest. I don't know if it's this side or this side. Is it this side? This side. I'm here with a special guest. Her name is Bella. So, hello, Bella. Good evening.
Hi, CK. Good evening. Hello everyone. I am Bella, and I am the head of the sourcing department of Sphere Rocket.
Oh my goodness, Bella, how are you doing today? How's your day?
Yeah, I am doing great right now. Feeling lazy because of the weather.
True.
How
Oh,
are you
is it
feeling today,
raining
though?
there?
Yes.
Today, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really happy. I was a little bit worried earlier. No, we were doing our best with our technical difficulty side, but I think everything is up and running. So, before I start asking Bella a bunch of questions, to everyone watching, all the viewers out there, feel free to type in the comments down below. We're going to be answering questions alongside the interview right now. So, yes, without further ado, Bella, I have my very first question for you. Are you ready?
Yes, always ready for that.
Bella, first question we're gonna answer are about some frequently asked questions. Okay, so in the title of our podcast, it says Recruitment FAQs, Leadership, and Goal Setting. So those are the three topics that we're gonna target today. Starting off with frequently asked questions. Is it hard to get a client here at Sphere Rocket?
So for me, the definition of hard or difficult depends on the person. So if you have the skills or you're confident that you have the skills to offer to the clients,
Mhm.
they will definitely hire you. So it's very important that you know your strengths and weaknesses. Everything is difficult at first, but
Yeah.
you'll never know unless you try. So the definition of difficult will vary depending on the person. But I believe everyone can do that. If I can do that,
Yes,
if you can do that,
Bella.
everyone can do that.
That's so true. And like I mentioned also before, the definition of difficult for every person is different. So, what is difficult for you may be easy for me, and what is difficult for me may be very easy for you. So, exactly what you said, that differs for every person. Okay, so Bella, there have been some questions also asking what do they have to prepare for an interview here at Sphere Rocket, whether that's initial interview or second or final interview, what do they have to do?
Okay. So even though this is like virtual, you still have to consider that this is the same as any other company. So we have to be prepared. Of course, this is going to be virtual. You have to be prepared with your camera, whatever devices that you need, like your audio. You also have to be wearing your proper attire. It could be a t-shirt or something like that, anything looking decent. And of course, all you have to bring is yourself. So you need to be able to carry yourself well during the interview.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's it for me.
Yeah, and Bella, that's actually my favorite tip. Like, you need to be able to carry yourself. That's what you said in an interview. Because I believe even if everything that we're doing right now is virtual, we work from home, we're all remote. When you're speaking to someone in the camera, especially if you're doing your best to land a client, they can still feel your energy, and they can still see if you're confident or not. They can still see if you're, not really sure with what you're saying, or you're not selling yourself properly. So I think carrying yourself and doing your best to show up, be happy, and smile. That's a good
Yes.
tip. Okay. And
Yes.
Bella, do you have any tips on creating an effective resume, or like how do you build one?
Okay. So when we're talking about resume, other people overlook the fact that this is the first impression because they think that the interviewers or the hiring managers are going to ask you the questions anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the resume, since this will be your first impression, you have to give the best impression. When I say best impression, when if you were, for example, the recruiter or the hiring manager, So are you going to hire this person with the sets of skills? So it is very important that the details are in there, the company, how long have you been working in that company, what are the skills that you have. If you could put the subtask under those job description, that would be better, because during the interview you have to summarize everything. That will also help you while you were reviewing everything, that will help you during the interview. So it's very important that it looks decent, the colors were like matching and all of that, they blend well together. And actually, I get this question a lot, if you have to put your picture on the resume. Yes, just like what you do with a passport.
Yeah, so they
Because,
can see the person.
yes. Okay, so it's okay that you do not have the photo, but if you're going to add one, should be like you're wearing decent attire, something like that.
Professional.
Yes, looking professional.
Okay. And Bella, as a recruiter, do you think it's important when you read a resume that the job position that they're applying for, those are mostly the skills that they're highlighting? They're not just putting, random work, what they call this? Random work experience that has nothing to do with the job position that they're applying for? Or does it not matter?
Okay, that's a good question. Because here at Sphere Rocket, what we're doing is we're going to profile you depending on the skills that you can offer. So, for example, if you're applying for administrative assistant, but your skill matches what the client is looking for example, the client is looking for a graphic designer and you have the skills, you have the experiences, we can match you with that client. So, it will still depend on the skills that you can offer for the client. But I should say that it's very important that you have listed all of the skills so that the recruiter would be, it would be easier for the recruiter to know if you will be able to perform in that specific job role that they're looking into.
That makes so much sense. And Bella, this is gonna be the last question. Last question about resume. Have you looked at any resume so far that really stood out for you? Like when you saw it, you were like, "Oh, this is a good one. Like this really stands out to me."
Yes. I've been reading a lot of job descriptions from the clients because that's what I do. I work from the end-to-end process. So that is from onboarding. So in the onboarding, we ask the client what they're looking for. And then the last process would be the final interview before we hand them over to the client. So in that case, I'll just look at the resume, and then from there I would know that this would be a strong candidate because everything that I need to see in the resume is in there. And one of the most important things that I have to see, as for me, when I'm checking the CV, is I get really impressed with people who knows their strengths and weaknesses. So if they know their technical skills, they'll be able to sell themselves well because they know what they are doing and what they should be doing just in case they got hired by the client. So it really is the first impression for me. So yeah.
Perfectly well said, Bella. And that makes so much sense because a lot of people, when they send their CV, especially when they're newbies and they don't have any experience yet, which is absolutely normal because you have to keep doing something in order to get better at it, right? But for the people watching and they're just starting off, they're just beginning wanting to be a VA, then please listen to these tips because Bella is dropping gems, okay? Okay, so Bella, is it really necessary to be fluent in speaking English just to land a client here at Sphere Rocket?
Okay, so the last time I checked the dictionary, fluency means being articulate. So for me, it is necessary. It is a necessary thing, but the greatest misconception when we say fluency is that you have to have the accent, so accent is something that identifies us. So I don't think we need that. It's just that you have to be articulate, because being articulate means you know what you're saying, you're well spoken, you understand what the person is saying. It's like 100% communication. You should be able to comprehend things, listen well to them, and yeah, so being articulate, I'd like to say the word articulate instead. So yeah, you have to be articulate.
Yes, and Bella, being articulate, that means you are a good communicator. And that is so important, not just with, landing a job interview or landing a client, but, if you're working in a team or if you want to do some storytelling and talk with people, I think knowing what you're saying before you actually say something is very important. And that is all about being articulate. I love that. I
Yes.
love that. Bella, how long does it take for them to reapply again? As we get this answer a lot, actually on our TikTok, on our YouTube, they do their best to get hired, but then unfortunately, maybe a client chooses someone who is better suited to become their VA. So the certain VA has to wait. And how long usually for them to be able to do that again?
Okay, so um, for me, if you're using your, I mean, if you feel that something that does not define you, so you can always try, until you succeed. So it would have to take 90 days prior receiving the result of the screening or the
Okay.
interview before you can apply to Sphere Rocket again.
Okay, 90 days. All right. And what are the most like popular skills usually in the market these days? And that's a very tricky question because every day in our industry it's very fast paced, so maybe one day video editors are super duper in demand, and then the next day maybe it's social media managers, and it's always changing. But so far in 2023, what do you think are the most popular either job positions or skills that is needed in the market today?
Okay. For me, number one is communication, of course, because we used to talk to people. We talk to people every day on a daily basis, so it's very important. That's number one. Secondly, I think creative and
Mm,
technical skills. So this too, most of the clients, they're looking for someone who is creative because right now we rely so much on social media, and then we also use social media to market, right? So uh,
yes.
usually we have to advertise. That's number one thing that we do is to advertise. So the person has to be creative. He needs to be able to perform like basic creative skills like social media management, video editing, graphic designing. So these are the top skills for me. But of course, it
Mm,
will still depend on which industry are you trying to enter.
right,
Because
right.
per client, there are different qualifications. They're looking for different people. They're looking for someone who can help them with their business. So, yeah, for me, it's more on the marketing side. I think the top skills that a PA should have.
All right. Sorry, my cat wanted to say hi. He's a little bit clingy right now. Let me just put him down. So, yes, Bella, actually, before I ask you the next question, I want to talk more about creativity because, oh my goodness, with our, especially with marketing, right? A lot of people, they think that it's just easy. Like, you just have to, I don't know, get ideas like apples from a tree, that it's that easy. But honestly, being a creative, it takes so much effort, and sometimes um, it can make us feel a little bit stressed out or burnt out because it's not like we're reading off a script. It's not like we're kind of doing the same thing every day. It's the creatives have to push every single time to do something different, to do something unique, and especially with what you mentioned earlier, advertising, marketing. It's very important. It plays a huge role in any business. So, yeah, the fact that creatives now are the most, I think, in demand um, makes a lot of sense because it's not an easy thing to do. So, shout out to all the video editors out there, graphic designers, social media managers. You guys are the best. Okay, so Bella, last question about frequently asked questions. Do you have any advice for people who don't have VA experience and they want to kind of dive in to that world, into that industry?
Okay. For that question, all I can say is you have to take risks because you'll never know. That's what I always say. You'll never know unless you try. So it
Mhm.
doesn't matter how many times you fail, but what matters is you still try to get back up because it's not that easy to for other people to accept that they didn't get accepted in a company or something like that.
Oh,
But it's all about mindset. If you wanted to challenge yourself, if you really wanted to, you really wanted something, you have to go for it because at the end of the day, we're all just trying to put food on our table. And if you
Yes.
failed at something, then you have to use that as an opportunity to grow. So you have to know the reason why you did not pass an interview or a screening. There is always something, and it's not always about you. It's always about what you should be improving, because it's a fast-paced environment, especially where it in a virtual assistant kind of setup. So yeah.
Yes, Bella. Oh my goodness, that was such a great answer. I actually didn't expect that you were going to say mindset, but it does make a lot of sense because um, with our life, obviously, not all the time we're gonna be winners. Okay, actually, majority of the times we're losers talaga, and we have to go through we have to go through these obstacles that kind of is either gonna make or break us. So what I mean by make or break us is like we're gonna choose to let this failure, bring us down and give up, or we're gonna choose to be like, you know what? I didn't pass this time, but in 3 months, in 90 days, which is, when you
Yes.
have to reapply again to Sphere Rocket, I'm going to come back better. And I'm going to come back with more skills, more knowledge, and better interview skills, right?
Yes.
So I
Yes.
love that you said mindset. And since I'm the TikTok and YouTube manager, I do see a lot of comments, when they don't get hired. Sometimes they feel very sad and they want to know exactly in detail why they didn't pass. And that's understandable. And I can put myself in their shoes because when a company says, no, you're not going to get hired, no, you're not meant for us at the moment, you kind of, feel bad or you have these self doubts like, okay, but why? Can you please explain like what I did wrong or what I can do better? But I think the sad reality is, or, the truth is, not all the time we're gonna get fed in a silver spoon. We're not always gonna be like,
Yes.
okay, you know, and the world is gonna baby us like, okay, this is what you did wrong. Like next time, blah 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 blah. No, sometimes you have to
Yes.
step back and do it yourself. You have to sit
Yes.
and ask, okay, what what did I do from start to finish that maybe I could have improved better? No, maybe I was like a little bit too lazy with my answers. Maybe I just don't have enough experience and the client
Yes.
wants someone
Exactly.
else who has a lot of experience, right? So, yes, Bella, that is it for now with our frequently asked questions. But let me check. I don't think we have any comments or anything so far. It's just like a bunch of emojis. So, if you guys want to ask us any questions or you want, I don't know, you have advice or peace of mind you want to say, then you can type it in the comment section if you want to. Okay, so moving on to our leadership questions. Okay, hold on, guys. This guy ate already. What are you doing? Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, hold on. Did I? Did
Oh,
I?
I can see you in my end. Where
Hold
have you
on.
been?
Sorry. Did I disconnect? There. Am I back?
I can see
Technical
you
difficulty.
still. Oh, okay. It's good now.
It's good now? Okay, hold on. There we go. Sorry, guys, about that. Okay, we're moving on to the leadership questions. Bella, what are some effective strategies for building and maintaining a cohesive virtual assistant team? Since you are a team leader here at Sphere Rocket, what do you think are some strategies for building a motivated VA team?
Okay, so I'll start with how I got hired here at Sphere Rocket at first. So basically, my skills are more on the marketing side. So I do filming, like video editing, graphic designing, those kind of things, like directing. And then I decided to apply for the role of podcast. Actually, that is what I tried to apply
Oh my
to.
goodness! And now
But
you're
I
here.
now I'm the guest. Okay, so this is the first job that I tried to apply to, but I'm gonna say that I love the fact that the company trusted me to do something else. It's not
Mm.
I didn't have an experience as a recruiter at the time. So I've worked as a recruitment executive for like 4 months or more than 4 months. And then after that is I got promoted as a sourcing manager. So to tell everyone right here who are watching with us right now, I didn't have an experience as a team lead before or managing people. I didn't have that kind of professional experience. But coming from the recruitment, I understood how the process of Rocket works. And from there, I got the idea on how to start a team. So the first thing that you have to know if you are building a team is you have to understand the process. So because you understand the process, you know what to do the next time. So when I got promoted as a sourcing manager, this this is what I did. I started with building trust within my team members. So at that time, I know that I do not know anything and I still got a lot to learn. So I'm going to learn from these people. That's the kind of mindset that I have when I was still starting. So the first thing is building trust with them because you're gonna bridge them. They do not know each other. You do not know them well. They do not know you well. So that's number one. Secondly, productivity because the people will reciprocate. I always say this that you're gonna know if the management is good if the people will reciprocate that. So my team, I should say, I'm so proud of them because they are very productive people. I didn't have a problem with them being late and all that. I think they're just mirroring as well because if you wanted to become a leader, you have to be punctual as well. As much as possible, if you can do your task quicker or more effective in a way like working smart, working well with everyone. That's totally the most important part of working with a team. You have to be a team player. So
Right,
I
right.
have to be a team player, I'm used to working alone, being independent, and now I have a team that depends on me. So your mindset should be I am in this role because not because of the job title, but it's more like a responsibility. So you're responsible of these people, you're responsible of their growth. Because here, I believe that a good employee is an investment, but bad employees are a bill. So now, as your team leader, as the team leader, it is your role to build the best in them. Like you have to make leaders in your team. You have to delegate tasks to them to help them grow along the way. So you're like growing together, and I like that.
Yes, exactly. And Bella, when you first started, this department didn't even exist yet, right? Like it
Yes.
wasn't established or anything, and you had to be there from scratch. And they asked you if you wanted to do it or if you wanted to transfer departments. But what did you tell? What did you tell management?
Nothing. I was surprised. I was surprised at that time. I didn't know I will be transferred to an existing department and that I have to create everything from scratch, all of the process. But the moment I knew that I will become I will be managing a team, I started
Mhm.
doing my research and I started learning about the how to create the process, what are the strategic ways, to building a team, to doing the task more effectively. So it's more about research. So when I was still starting, I did not say anything. I just took the challenge. After a week, I gave them the process. This is the process I have in mind because this is how I
Wow.
understood the
Wow.
recruitment. Yeah, so that's when it started. So and then now it's going. We're going 1 year in this department. So I mean,
Congrats,
more
Bella.
than a year. We've already existed for more than a year.
And Bella, you also mentioned earlier that your team members, they're productive, they're always on time, and you have no complaints just because they're the type of team who's doing their job, who's doing their thing. And I believe that how you can tell a good leader is truly leading and flourishing is if you look at their people and their people's accomplishments. So you
Yes.
have to also, tap yourself in the back because that means you're doing your best or you're doing a great job leading your own department. Yes.
Thank you for
All
that,
right.
Zico.
Yes, I know we all need a little boost, and we don't really talk as often. So to everyone watching here, we're all from Sphere Rocket, but usually we just speak to our own department. So if there's like
Yes.
the HR department, the marketing department, there's recruitment, Bella sourcing, we don't talk to each other like every day, only during our Monday meetings. So it's nice to actually have a chance to have a conversation with you and kind of catch up.
Yes. I feel the same way actually. So I'm excited. That's the only one of the reasons I feel excited to be part of this podcast.
Yeah, you messaged me earlier and you said that. So that really made me feel good, honestly, Bella. Okay, so we're moving on to the second question about being a leader. Okay, what are some strategies for providing constructive feedback and performance evaluations as a team leader?
Right. As a team lead, I look beyond the numbers. I mean, the metrics are very important. So, like when you're holding most of the data, you see how people work because you're going to see the result. So, if there is something wrong, like I do not know what was going on, why is the performance declining or something like that, I'm going to talk to that person and have a one-on-one mentoring or coaching with that person, so I would
Mm-hmm.
better understand what was going on because there are external and internal factors as to why uh, a team member is not could not perform well. So that is very important for me. When I'm providing constructive feedback, I always uh, I'll either DM them or I'm going to announce the same, like this person, for example, this person has provided a lot of leads and they're like that. So I like giving constructive feedback to them because that keeps the fire in them working, being appreciated even if they did not ask for
Exactly.
that. So when you're providing a constructive feedback, you always have to consider the fact that these people are actually working, but you have to understand the reasons as to why other people can perform better while the others cannot, so that you can help the other team members improve their task as well.
Yes, and Bella, like what you mentioned, we are all different, right? So maybe this team member is exceeding or excelling in this part of the task, and then the other isn't. So you can't really expect everything from everyone because we're all different. We have different skills, we have different brains. So the
Yes.
fact that, you acknowledge that and you talk to them, have a coaching one on one to just kind of see where, okay, where can I train this person more, or where can I maybe put them in a different task so that they can use their strengths in that part. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh my gosh, my cat is back. Ugh, I'm scared. He might he might spill my water. All right. So Bella, when it comes to the environment, okay, being a team leader, setting the environment is very important. I really believe this. Like when you set the tone of your workspace and how it is, it can make such a huge difference. So, how can team leaders effectively manage and optimize their team's productivity while also ensuring the work life balance and avoid burnout among team members?
Right. So, as for my experience working as a team lead, it is very important that you understand your team members,
Hmm.
knowing them. You do not have to be like deeply connected with them. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I lost.
Yeah, it's okay. You can just rejoin the Streamlabs. We'll wait for
Okay.
you. First it
Yes.
was me. Second it was you. Hopefully the next time it's not both of us at the same time.
Yes. Sorry about that. Okay.
All
Um.
good. We're waiting. Let's see if there's any comments. Oh, we have one. Okay, while you're getting your camera, from Lara May Baron Naserato. Hello po. What are the most skills that the clients are looking for? Actually, Bella answered this earlier, but she mentioned that these days it's mostly creatives, so a bunch of video editors, graphic designers, social media managers, because for a business, marketing or digital marketing is very in demand. Okay, and from Paulo Velasco, shout out to you. Thank you for watching the podcast. I saw an application that I need to make a portfolio. What kind of portfolio do I need if I am a newbie in applying as a VA? So I think, Paulo, that depends on what type of job position that you're applying for. So, for example, if you want to become a video editor, then you're going to have a portfolio mainly designated on the video output that you've made. Okay, so Bella, do you have anything else to add? What kind of portfolio do I need to have if I am a newbie in applying as a VA? Says Paulo.
Hi, Paolo. I feel for you. I also started as an unexperienced VA. And like I said a while ago, my experience was more into the marketing side before I got in this where I am right now. But if you're going to create a portfolio, very important to provide quality ones. So if you're going to send a video, it should be like in higher resolution. Same with the photos. You have to make sure that it has something, or it is in line with the business that you're trying to enter, or like the industry that you're trying to be part of. So you also have to create ones that are like short and precise, or very straightforward, I should say. It doesn't have to be too long, as long as they can see that you put effort in there. So you can create your own. Actually, it doesn't have to be professionally made. So you can use
Right.
your skills and create your own, and then match it with the industry that you are trying to apply for.
Right. So, Bella, I have a question. For example, they want to apply as a graphic designer, but they have never had clients or they never designed for other businesses. It's okay for them to go on Canva or Photoshop, wherever, and create their own mock ups and then put that in a portfolio just to showcase their talent. Is that okay?
Yes, yes. That is okay, because we're looking beyond like your CV and all that. So we wanted to see what are the skills that you have,
Hmm.
and we wanted to see how you can contribute. So yeah, that's very important. That's This is really okay.
And usually the average portfolio pages, like how many is that? 3 pages, 2 pages? For you, what do you usually see?
Okay, the more the merrier, I should say. If you have a website, you can actually provide a website. So you can create your own website.
Website is good.
Yes, you can even put them in a G Drive folder, and then compile them all together, and then share it with anyone with the link. Do not forget that, because it will be difficult for us to like access the folder. So
Right. So those small technical things. Now, just in the G Drive, you didn't click share to everyone. That's gonna put like a headache to the recruiters, and then they'll probably choose someone else. Joke. So just be careful. Be careful with your settings. Okay, so Bella, thank you for that. We have another one before I move on to my leadership questions. This is coming from Noni Carlo Cuesta. Shout out to you. Ma'am, do you accept inexperienced applicants? I have no significant experience in employment outside, nor do I have a VA experience.
yes, yes, of course. Here we are accepting non-experienced candidates, but of course, as an inexperienced candidate, you have to know first and foremost what is the top skills right now in the market, because what you're going to do during the final interview, or during the interview, is you have to know how to sell yourself to a client. So we have to see if you will be a strong candidate. And there are no weak candidates, actually. It's just that some people do not know yet, or they do not didn't do much research on what they are trying to do, or what industry they're trying to enter. So it's very important. But if you are a non-experienced virtual assistant, you should be looking into what skills you have that you can offer, because virtual assistant, as I've mentioned ago, this is just like a work setup. So you're working from home and working
Hmm.
directly with international clients. So what you should be looking into are the top skills and uh, top job roles these days that that could help a business, something like that.
Yes, yes. I agree with everything that you said. It's very straight to the point. So I hope you guys took some notes to everyone who's asking the questions. And Bella, I really love what you said. You mentioned that there is no weak applicant. It's just an applicant who doesn't know how to utilize their strengths. And it's so
Yes.
true. It's just like maybe you don't really have experience yet with putting on your portfolio um, the best way to sell yourself, the best way for a client to see, oh, I like this, I like this applicant. You're just putting things that aren't that important, or that um, it doesn't really make sense. Okay, so you have to learn how to make a resume and a portfolio. That's a skill that you need. All right, so oh, we have two more here from Your Smile Maker VA. Nice name, Your Smile Maker VA. Is it possible to have multiple clients as long as you can effectively manage, ensure their individual needs and expectations are met? Are we allowed to do that at Sphere?
Okay, so
or
here
it
at
depends?
Sphere Rock, it would depend, but most of the time our client is looking for exclusivity. So all of our clients, about 98% of them are from the US and Canada. So they'd be having the same shift. You know, if you understood
True.
that, we do not have a day shift here. So it's going to be a like you have to um what do you call this? Okay, so if you're going to apply for this job, you should
Yes.
be able to perform graveyard shift. Okay, so I think that would be a problem getting another client because
Especially if they're in the same time zone. And
yes, same
almost
time
all our
zone.
clients, if not all the clients from Sphere Rocket are from Canada, US, so their
Yes,
time zone is very similar, just depending a little bit on their what coast they are, West Coast, East Coast, all of that. But
yes,
yes, exclusivity is very important here at Sphere Rocket, just because we also want to make sure we're being fair to the clients and ensuring that their VA is putting their best foot forward, performing the best that they can, and their tasks aren't so scattered, or it's not so, what's the word, basta yun. Okay, I hope we answered your question, your smile VA. Your smile maker VA. And then we have one from RYT, or right. Is having customer service and a technical support role an advantage? Having serious.
Hmm,
I think he's
um,
asking, is having customer service and technical support experience an advantage? I think that's what he's asking.
okay. Anything is actually an advantage as long as there are skills and experiences. But I get this question a lot. If you need to have an experience with the call center industry, if you need to have the skills in doing customer service and all that,
Hmm.
it does help because you should be able to communicate well. However, here we are accepting people who doesn't really have any of those because we encourage the people or the candidates to uh, bring out the best version of themselves.
Right.
So the first step actually to getting hired is just being yourself, knowing what you want, knowing why you want that, and knowing uh, how to effectively do your task well. Because these days it's we're elevating. We have like YouTube University, we have Google University,
Right. I mean,
so
there are so many resources online that can actually, land you a client, land you a job, but you have to do your own research, and you have to take
yes,
your own initiative, right? And there's so many free resources. I think that's what we're trying to say.
yeah.
Okay. So I hope that makes sense. I hope we answered your question. And then we have one from Carl Cast. Ooh, juicy question. He said, "What are the inclusive benefits on top of your salary? Do you provide HMO?"
Mm-hmm. Um, we are a company based in the US, so no, this is actually completely tax free because here at Sphere Rocket, we have like commissions, uh, just like any other virtual assistant companies out there. So we provide commissions, but with regards to this, it will depend as well on your performance and the skills
On your
that you can
client.
offer. Yes,
Yeah.
it will
Yeah.
depend on the client.
Yeah, but hopefully in the future we are working on that, so you to have like those HMO benefits. So, but as of the moment, it's your salary and then bonuses and stuff, depending on your client and depending on your performance. Okay, and we have here from Shania Gail Duque Reyes. Wow, long beautiful name. She says, "What positions are open for newbies po?" So
There
many,
are a
girl.
lot. There are a
Okay, what are
lot.
some? Let's list some.
Okay, so we're looking for administrative assistants, executive assistant. We're looking for graphic designers, video editors, what else? Digital marketing specialists, people who can use CRM tools.
Mm-hmm.
We have open positions for listing and transaction coordinator. So the other positions are more on the real estate industry side because most of the clients are from the estate industry.
Right, real estate
Um,
agent from America.
yes, yes. So there are actually a lot. Well, actually, if you tried applying to our online application form, you're gonna see the list of available positions. And in
Jobs,
case
yes.
you're not sure what you were applying for or what you wanted to apply apply for, you can just choose anything. Like there is an option where it says others, so you can add
Ooh.
anything there.
Others. Model.
Yes.
Joke. You can type. Just put random. But anyway, if you guys want to know more available job positions, we are always updating on our social media: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Actually, just I think 2 days ago, we posted a list of available job positions. So go to our Facebook page, click the like button, and you'll see it there. Okay. So I hope we answered your question, Shania. And we have one for John Irwin Hilario. Are there any trainings specifically with the role we're applying?
Yes. Um, for the role that you're applying, well, once you got hired by the client or once you pass the interview, we provide like trainings for you.
Mhm. I get a lot of questions, not questions, I get a lot of comments on our TikTok about Kuya Ronald. I know he's a trainer here. And what does he train?
It's he trains. Actually, that's for a Reva training.
Reva, okay. Because we get comments on our YouTube and our TikTok saying that they love training with Kuya Ronald. So he's
Oh,
probably not watching now, but shout out to Kuya Ronald. You're doing a great job. And if you guys apply for a Reva position and you get in, you have the opportunity, then you're gonna have a chance to have training with Kuya Ronald. Okay. So yeah, no other questions. If you have more, just type below. So we're gonna move on to the questions that I have prepared for Bella. Yeah, Bella, back to our leadership topic, being a team lead. What steps can virtual assistant team leaders take to build trust and establish strong relationships with their team members?
okay. So the first thing that you have to consider when you are starting a team, if you're not experienced with being a team leader, the first thing that you have to do is to know their strengths and weaknesses. Know their
Mhm.
personality, because you will be dealing them on a daily basis. You'll be working with them on a daily basis, and along the way, you'll get to know who among these people are actually like they wanted to grow on their own,
Mhm.
because it is still the person's decision if he wanted to become if he wanted to improve something about himself. uh, it's very important that you know them well, the way they work, the numbers they put in, the skills that they have, that they contribute. So that's those things are the most important
Yes.
part of being a team leader. You have to know them well.
And Bella, that's not easy. You know, it's easier said than done. And getting to work with people, like I just suddenly thought about my manager Michelle, because she started off with the marketing just like you, just by herself. Siya lang mag-isa, and she did everything on her own, like the video editing, the writing, the posting, the artwork, lahat na. And soon she started, having video editors on the team. Like I think it was Kuya Eric first, and then other video editors like Rex, Jeff, then I came along. But our team is now 10 in the marketing team, and imagine 10 different types of like personalities. I mean, just like having me alone in the team, like she has to deal with that. But it's not easy having to know which specific person is right for the task, which person has so much on their plate or doesn't have too much on their plate. And the fact that she's managing that many people, like you, Bella, you're also managing like who gets to do what, and monitoring them, making sure that their personal lives are okay, that their work life is okay. It's really easier said than done. So I just want to like give a round of applause and like hands down to our head of departments. I know it's not just you, it's not just Michelle, it's others too in the Sphere Rocket team who have to deal with big teams. Okay, so anyway, let's move on. Let's see if we have any other questions from the chat. None so far. So I'm going to continue. Bella, what are some common misconceptions or myths about goal setting with Filipino virtual assistants?
Okay, so goal setting, the myth here is that uh, you have to change the goal every time you encounter a problem. That is wrong. You should be focused on your goals. So in life, there are different paths, but you are headed in one direction. So you need to have a clear goal for you to get there. And it takes consistency than motivation, because motivation fades. But if you're consistent with what you're doing, it'll be part of your daily activities, your daily task. You'll get used to doing that, as long as it is part of your routine.
Yes.
You'll get to where you want to go. So yeah, that is the biggest myth, is that you have to change the goal. You can change the plans but never the goal. So it's more of you have to strategize. You have to look uh, what would be the future consequences if I do this and that. So those that is the biggest myth I've heard.
Love that, love that. Oh, and quick little break here. Shout out to Ma'am Janice. She's watching right now. She's supporting us. We love
Hi,
you,
Miss
Ma'am Janice.
Janice.
And shout out to Joe. Mom, I'm on TV. We're doing our shout outs. Shout out to Joe. Actually, Joe said the interviewers will help you assess your skills and experience onto which VA role you are suitable for. That's so true. And
Yes.
that's why on our next podcast, we will have Joe here as a guest.
I want to see Joe here talking.
You will, guys. You'll see Joe soon, our first male guest. And shout out to John. He says awesome. And Shania says thank you so much. Thank you, Shania, for being here and for watching. Of course, huge shout out to Gail. She is also helping us right now. She says gold advices. Thank you so much. Your smile maker VA. Okay, there we go. Oh, I think Camille's still watching. I'm not sure if she is. Hello. And of course, Rabin. I'm just looking at the people who are commenting. So, okay, let's move on. Oh, coming from, oh, last shout out to JC. We love you. He says, love you both. We love you,
Oh,
JC.
we
You're
love you,
our queen.
JC. Yes.
Coming from RYT, once hired on a certain role, will you be able to jump from different roles, different departments on Sphere Rocket? I think he's talking about internal team. Not sure.
Mhm. If it's about the internal team, yes, because if you
Mm,
wanted to grow, you cannot just stay where you are. So this is like if you're in the it's still in your comfort zone. If you're working on the task, it's very repetitive. You're going to get tired of it along the way. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes, we do that a lot, because you have to know where you would really excel. That is actually what I like about Sphere Rocket, is that they do not contain you. They allow you to think. They allow you to work. They allow you to find yourself, what you really wanted to do, what top skills you have that you can contribute to the company, and at the same time you're growing with them.
Yes, I love that. Gold answer. And okay, shout out to Kuya Angelo, he's watching, and
Hi,
Myro. He says,
Kuya.
that's my TL. Okay, supportive
Thank you,
marketing. Baka
Myro.
naman. Joke. Okay, so before I actually hop on to the next questions, I just want to talk about Filipino Independence Day because
Mhm.
our podcast also, like in this last half of our podcast, I want to talk about more the strengths about Filipino virtual assistants and why we are so in demand and why the whole world wants to have us as part of their business, loves to work with us, loves to collaborate with us. So yes, let's talk about that, Bella. Um, okay, here. How can Filipino virtual assistants effectively set and prioritize goals in their work?
Mhm. Okay, so I always say, you should know what you want,
Know
because
what
the
you want.
goals doesn't have to change. So you need to have a plan in line with that, what you really want to achieve. It would really depend on what you wanted to do in the future. So I didn't know if this answer your questions, but
No, it does. You mentioned it. It says you need to know what you want. Because how can you
yes,
set goals if you don't even know like what you want to be doing, right? That's going to be really difficult. And that's
yes,
one small question that kind of goes over people's heads. That's why they want to apply, but then they're like, um, but what do I apply for? That's not really our job anymore to tell you what you should apply for because nobody knows you as well as you know yourself. So if we tell you na okay mag-apply ka as a video editor na lang, but then you're not good at video editing pala or you're not passionate about video editing. Syempre it's you who has to know what you're good at or what you will enjoy. Okay, let's talk about having fun. Always talking about our strengths and weaknesses. You need to know what's gonna make you happy. Okay, I'm gonna put myself as an example. Like I just knew that I love creating content so much. And before Sphere Rocket, Bella, did you know that I applied to 10 or 15 video to like VA agencies? 10,
I, I
15.
I never heard of that
And they
before.
all
You do?
rejected me. And they all said,
Really?
no, we don't like you. Like, no, you're just like, your computer's not fast enough. Or, basta, they declined me. So I was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Like, why aren't these companies hiring me? And then I saw Kuya Eric's story because Kuya Eric and I were friends since before Sphere Rocket. Um, and he just posted on his story na looking for a TikTok and YouTube manager. So I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of up my alley. So let me try. And then I asked more information. So yun na, I applied. I talked to Michelle for the first time. I talked to Ma'am Shireen for the first time. And then, long story short, I'm here now. So you guys have to just keep on trying. And maybe the reason why I didn't get accepted to those 10, 15 VA agencies is, I probably wasn't gonna enjoy there anyway. And I think Sphere Rocket was really, the one that was meant to be for me. That's why the universe or God was like, sorry, let's just like give her these hard times. And I remember, Bella, I think I have a video of this. During the last VA interview that I got rejected from, you know what happened? um I logged in, right? So it was time for my interview na, and I was like wearing my formal, like naka-makeup ako. I was ready for my interview. The interviewer talks to me, and she's like, "Can I see your settings for laptop?" And at that time, it was my older laptop. So she opens it up, and I think it wasn't up to their standards. So they were like, "Oh, okay. Like, thank you so much for your time." So it was like less than 1 minute. They didn't even say like, "What's your name?" They didn't say like, "What's your work experience?" They just open up your computer settings. Open up, saw it, declined. And then I got my phone camera and I was vlogging, but I didn't post it. It was just for personal. And I was like this. I was like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of getting rejected. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna get hired one day. And I was like
I like
really
that energy.
I was generating that negative energy or that rejection energy, and I was channeling it into power. I was channeling it into like, nah, I'm gonna get accepted. Maybe not now, maybe not today. And then I think fast forward 2 weeks, I got a job offer here at Sphere.
Wow, I love the story from.
Yes, because I always love telling that story because people don't believe it. They're like, "You got rejected from 10 to 15?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And I almost gave up. I almost gave up talaga.
Yes, that's
So
actually very important that you need to get back up. So you shouldn't
exactly.
stay in your comfort zone. So if you fail 100 times, you have to get up like a million times before you really find what is really meant for you.
It's how you get back up. Life is always gonna throw you freaking rocks. You're always going to fall, but it's like how you get up. And the more that you fail, the more that you get rejected, the more resilient you're gonna be, the more self-aware you're gonna be, and the more you're gonna be like, okay, that wasn't meant for me. But OMG, I got there's I got a comment from, where is that? Oh, from Camille. Camille said, "Glad they rejected you, CK. If not, we wouldn't have you here."
Yes,
Thank you, Camille.
absolutely.
That's so kind. And then Joe said, "You can change the plan, not the goal. Done. Tweeted. Glad you have a new tweet." And then Shania says, "If we have plans of joining internal team, is there a possibility that a newbie will be welcomed as part of it? How is the process? And I've always wanted to be a recruiter." Aww.
Oh, yeah, right. We're actually looking for people to work with us. But if there are open positions for the recruitment, yes, we're gonna put you
We will
where.
post. Yeah.
Yes, we would prioritize your application, and yeah, we welcome everyone actually as part of our team. So yeah, it is
True.
actually really fun.
Oh my gosh, you know what, Bella? I think majority of Sphere Rocket team like didn't even have VA experience. Like I think
Yes.
that's how, because we're still a baby company, like compared to, I was gonna say companies, compared to the other competitors. If you're watching right now, competitors. Compared to other competitors, we are a baby, like seriously. And Camille says, "Glad they rejected." Ah, no, she said, "If you are seeing this, for sure they have regrets there. Look what they have missed." Okay. Stop.
Yes, absolutely. That's perfect. Perfectly said.
And RYT says, for video editors, what kind of videos are we going to edit? Oh, that's a good question.
Okay, so for that one, it would depend on the industry of the client. So if you landed with a real estate client, of course, this has something to do with selling properties, like
Mm-hmm.
touring the clients. You're gonna get the raw videos and all that. You're gonna edit that
Yes.
for the people who has you know who needs this, your market or your leads. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
those kind of things.
Okay, so I'm gonna touch on this topic, I mean on this question, because I work with the marketing team, and shout out to the video editor, especially like sila Kuya Eric and all the TLs out there. Majority of what they edit, for example, your client is a speaker or they're a business coach. They do a lot of talks on stage. They travel around the world, so most likely they're going to be sending you raw video footage of their conferences, of their interviews, and what you're going to be doing is taking that and either making it into a long form video, which are YouTube videos, podcasts, or you're going to edit short form videos, which are reels, TikToks, YouTube shorts. Okay. And there is like a lot. It's just the opportunities as a video editor is really vast, like the abundance of it. So if that is a career that you are interested in, RYT, go for it. I think there's gonna be a there's gonna be a good future for you there. Okay. Thank you for that, Bella. And coming from Noni Carlo Cuesta, Ma'am CK, is your name a coincidence with the company's name? Oh, cause like CK Crockett, Rocket. I see. That's funny. No, I
Yeah.
think it's just a coincidence. It's a coincidence. You know what's so funny? One of my friends, they thought that since I was creating footage, I was creating content for Sphere Rocket, especially in the beginning. Like it was just my face, right? I wasn't collaborating with the others yet. It was just Siki's face, Siki's face. My friends thought I just created some random company and that I named it after my name. I was like, no, I don't own it. I'm just a content creator. So Noni, yeah, it's just a coincidence. And oh, Alexandria Villegas, she is asking, do you accept no VA work experience? I think she's just new to the podcast. So, hello.
Hi, we are accepting non-experienced VAs, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
We have different job roles open, so just in case you're interested, we'll be sending you the link. You can reach out to any of us. We can send you the link of the online application form, and
Yeah.
there are the list of the open positions
Mhm.
that you can apply for.
True, true. And then after our podcast here, there's an application process that will play. So if you want to watch that, you can. And I also have here from Joe. He says, I was an animator to recruiter. I was a newbie when Sphere Rocket accepted me. That's true. Did you know? Facts coming out. Did you know that Joe was part of the marketing team at first? And then after like, I don't know, 1 week, I think, or 2 weeks, like he became a recruiter. So I don't know. We miss you, Joe. Come on. And oh, there's a question for Joe. I'll let him answer it on the chat because it's not for us, it's for Joe. Okay, so Bella, I'm gonna move on to the Filipino virtual assistant questions, okay? Have you encountered any unexpected or surprising opportunities or challenges in your journey as a VA here in the Philippines?
Yes, I did. Actually, it was full of challenges. You know, having no experience as a virtual assistant and having no experience as a recruiter, not and not having any experience as a head of department, those were the challenges that I faced because my skills are far from where I am right now, from what I am doing.
Right, right.
So it's more on the administrative task. It's more on managing people. It's more about recruitment, and my skills are more into art. You know, it's like very far because it's more like from creative side to technical. So it was
Mm.
very challenging, but
Oh my
I
gosh.
think with the little determination that you have, it can take you anywhere. That's what I
Exactly,
believe.
Bella. Exactly. And yun nga yung ano mo, yung course mo, isn't it like in the creative field?
Actually, it is because that's mass communication,
Mass
but
comm, right?
yes,
So you're
mass
supposed to be in
comm.
marketing pala.
Yes, we're supposed to be
Right?
together in one department.
I know. I wonder when that day will come. Joke. So actually what you mentioned about like from creative you had to go kind of in the more technical skills and then that was challenging for you. I can relate. I can relate so much. Although I'm still in the creative field and I'm doing content creation, but oh my gosh, one of my challenges here, Bella, did you know? Before, I really hate, well, still until now, but before, I really hated creating like reports and analytics and all of that. Like, it really, like, I just wanna, my brain explode because I don't like the numbers. Like, put me in front of a camera, in front of like a podcast, and I can talk for hours. But make me do like a report or like make me, the numbers, it just like haunts me. But I worked on it. Michelle told me that CK, as a social media manager, like you have to learn how to do this. You can't just be a marketing girly, you have to be a marketing girly, because there are two types. And I want to give a huge shout out to Gail too, because without her, her help, then I think, I don't know, I would have been too stressed out and burnt out since I'm managing like just all the content on the Sphere Rocket side, on the Sphere Rocket Philippine side, and then doing the analytics and stuff, having that help from Gail just made my life so much easier. So, what's your point, CK? my point here, my point here is that let your teammates help you when you have challenges, when you have struggles. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay for your teammates to make your life a little easier, right? Delegation. Okay, so OMG, man pen. She said, so proud of you ladies. Jump out now for
Oh,
FI. Thank you, ma'am
thank
pen.
you,
We love
Ate
you.
Ben.
You didn't know that she was watching. You know what?
Yeah,
I'm so
I
excited.
worked with her before actually because I was in the recruitment. So yeah, she's one of the best people that I work with. I can say
No, she's been here longer than like both of us. She's like
yes,
one of the OGs. The OGs?
yes.
Yeah. But she's been here for a while, so shout out to Ma'am Pen. You know what? I should have her as a guest sometime. Yeah, why haven't I thought about that? Okay,
Yes.
so from Alexandria Villegas. Actually, no. Before we move on with our Chikadora, I have a boom boom pow question from Carl Cast. Are you ready, Bella?
Mm-hmm.
He said, Carla, he said, may I know the entire hiring process? The entire. Okay, go girl.
Okay. So I'm like, as I have mentioned a while ago, is I work with the end-to-end process by my own will because I know I have to communicate with the first process to the end. So the first process would be the screening process. So in the screening, we have people working for that. They would look at the resume, they would look at the requirements you're sending if they're correct. And then once you pass that part and you qualify for the major qualifying questions, you'll move forward to the initial interview. So this is actually very quick because we have two processes for that. For the non-experienced VAs, they have to undergo two interviews before they could get to the final interview. And for the non-experienced candidates, that is for the non-experienced candidates, and for the experienced candidates, they have to go to they can be endorsed directly to the final interview once they pass. Okay, so in this process, it actually doesn't take so long because you will be the one to schedule your interview. So we will be sending you an email result, and you're going to book your interview in the calendar link that we provided. So it would really depend on you. And if you're going to ask how long before you can book an interview, you have to book on the slot as quick as possible. But if not, you can still schedule your interview whenever you're available.
So is
in
it
your most
first come,
convenient
first
time.
serve?
Yes, because the slot would close once there were already a lot of people who scheduled on that specific date. You'll have
Oh,
to
okay,
schedule
okay.
on another one. Yes.
I see. And Bella, if they miss that, or for example, there's an emergency and they can't make it to the final interview, what happens? Can they reschedule, or is it like bye bye?
Okay, so if you won't be able to attend the interview, you have to reach out to the recruiter. So we're sending you an email. You only have to inform us that you have an emergency or something like that. However, if you did not make it to your interview, there is possibility that your application will be inactive. So you have to reach out to us within 5 working days. Okay, so
Okay.
this
Yeah.
is
That's
very
important.
important. Yes, and just for example, this is your first no show, so you weren't able to attend the interview.
Mm-hmm.
The second time that you did not show up to your interview, your application will be tagged as inactive. This is also to give way to the new candidates that is coming in. So it is
Yes.
very important that you know the schedule very well, and to add up to that, we are following the central time zone here. So the time zone is US and Canada. So if you're going to book an interview with us, that's going to be nighttime in the Philippines.
Mm.
If it says
Yes.
AM,
Yes.
then that's PM. So yeah,
Right. Right.
I hope that answered your question. Because
And
once
that's
you
the
pass
whole
the
hiring
interview,
process.
not the whole hiring
No, not
process,
yet.
but actually that's it. After you pass the interview, you will be shortlisted for a final interview with the client, and then after that, okay, there will be a handover once the client decided to hire you.
Nice, nice. Good job. Wow, Bella, imagine that. You memorized that whole thing. Like it's already engraved in your brain. It's already engraved in your soul. You can probably do it while you're sleeping. You're like, so the spear rocket process is like this.
Yes.
And also, I like what you said about missing their interview. Obviously, we have to make chance for the new people because every day we have so many applicants who are applying and wanting to have a time slot. So if you are already given that opportunity for the time slot and you miss it, then that's
Okay. Right.
that's kind of that's hard.
Okay, so it's very important to communicate. So we have like a pool of candidates. So we have we cannot memorize every people. You just have to
Mm,
reach out by messaging through the email result that you receive. Okay, so
yeah.
it is very important that once you pass an application, usually it only takes 24 to 48 hours for the screening. Depending on how many candidates came in during that day. So it's very important that you are also checking your spam folder and your archive,
Mm,
because you may not be receiving the email. You might have received the email, but you
you
might
didn't
not
see it.
have seen it. Yes.
Right, right. So check your spam, check your archive, and just like refresh your email. And if you have so many emails, because like me, my old Gmail account has like I think 50,000 emails. It doesn't receive emails anymore, so you have to delete your emails and stuff. Okay, Bella, drink water. Before I answer our last two questions, ako talaga mag-answer, si Bella pala. After we answer the last few questions, I just want to give a huge shout out to Michelle. She's watching right now. She
Hi,
commented
Michelle.
on our live. Hello, Michelle. Yeah, if it wasn't for her patience, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't have learned
Aww.
anything because she trained me. I knew nothing. I was just like I don't know. I was just good at speaking, but I didn't know about social media marketing and digital marketing. So she had to train me from scratch. She had to like teach us. So thank you, Michelle, and you're the best. You're the best. Okay, I'm gonna move on to Noni Carlo Cuesta's question. Ma'am, last question. Talaga ba? Noni. Joke. I it I inadvertently scheduled my interview for 12:50 a.m. Inadvertently. That means he didn't do it on purpose.
Yes. If I
So
understood
can
the
do you
question
conduct
correctly,
one? Do you conduct one during that time at 12:50
oh,
a.m.?
I think I got it. So this is what's happening during the interview, because you have like full of candidates that's going to last only for 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
However, because we care about your skills, we care about your experiences, sometimes it takes longer, like 20 minutes or something. But the recruiter will have to inform you that there is someone who is currently in the waiting room. So at
Oh.
that moment, we really feel sorry for that, or we apologize that we cannot accommodate you as early, but we are happy whenever the candidates are early for their scheduled interview. Just so happened that we care about their experiences, their skills. We wanted to get to know them better,
Ah, okay,
right?
okay,
Hence,
I see.
this will give them more chances of getting hired or passing the interview if
Yeah.
they will be able to say everything, will be able to discuss everything about them, and will be able to understand them more. So that's it. We could be interviewing other candidates and you could be waiting in the waiting room. So the recruiter will just inform you. But in case you've been waiting there for like long enough, you couldn't wait anymore, you
Mm-hmm.
can just email the recruiter to ask for the status of your interview.
Okay. So that actually makes so much sense. Like that's just logic. Example, you're a recruiter and then you see an applicant come into the Zoom meeting and they start saying everything. Like they're listing down all the skills that the client needs, and of course, if you can see na they're really doing their best, you spend a little bit more time with them because they could be the one. They could be the one for the client. So it is acceptable and it is understandable that recruiters sometimes spend a little extra time for the ones um who are more gonna be paired properly with the client. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Moving on to Lara May. She says, I submitted my application just this week. Possibly, when will I be scheduled for an interview?
Okay, so once your application has been screened or your requirements, your CV and all that, and it's all good, we will be sending you the email results. So after the sending that, you have to check the calendar link below that, because you will be the one to schedule your interview. Now,
Mm,
just in case you weren't receiving any response because we have like full of candidates as of the moment, this usually takes like 24 to 48 hours or 5 working days. Okay, so to set your expectations, but we're trying our best to accommodate everyone. You just have to keep checking your spam folder, your archives, to make sure that if you really have received anything from us. With regards to your answer, so when will you be scheduled? It will depend on your availability, but there are available slots provided in the link along with the email.
okay, thank you for that, Bella. Now we have here a question from RYT. May we have an overview of the 4-day training and what we'd expect on that assessment? On the assessment.
Okay,
Are you allowed to
so
say it?
I think we should reach out to the. I don't think so. I'm the right person to say this, but once you pass the interview, you can ask the trainer
Mm.
everything, the program flow or anything like that. When will be
Oh,
the evaluation?
yeah. Sorry, guys. It's not really our It's not really our expert. Huh? Expert on expertise. Huh?
But if
It's not
anyone
really our.
from the training team is watching, they may answer your question.
Yeah. If someone from the training team is watching, can you please message, because we don't want to say false information or information that we're not supposed to be saying. Okay, so Bella, well, that was actually the last question. We're gonna wrap it up soon. It's already 10:12, well, more than an hour of the podcast. How are you feeling, Bella? Are you tired?
Right now, no. Actually, I was feeling really sleepy a while ago, but because we're like talking right now, so I'm kind of
Yeah.
like energized.
Same, I was like yawning earlier. I'm like, oh my gosh, my shift just started and I'm yawning already. What is going on? But then now I feel energized and I feel happy. So I'm gonna ask the last question now. This is one is my favorite actually. Wait, no. I still have like three that I want to ask, but we're kind of losing our viewers, so I don't know. Okay, last two questions and then we're gonna wrap it up. Okay, and say our closing remarks. Bella, what role does mentorship or guidance from experienced virtual assistants play in the journey of an aspiring VA? Like how
Right.
important it is.
Mentoring and coaching is very important because actually they're different. When you're
Mhm.
mentoring someone, you're teaching him the best practices. When you're coaching them, you listen to them, more than you teach them. So it could go well together, but this is very important because this is part of the learning process.
Mm.
So we have different learning process. We process information very differently. Other people can learn very easily, while others need to undergo like a lot of trainings and all that. So it's just very important that we are being mentored. There is someone that we look up to. But it's also very important that we have the coaching because here we can say we can tell the reasons why we haven't been performing well. What are the things that bothers you? What you wanted to do? What you wanted to improve? So the coaching and the mentor will help you with that. So that's very important because it will help you improve yourself for your self development and growth.
Exactly, Bella. And that's why I love Sphere Rocket, because if you get hired as a VA, do you know that you have coaching from Monday to Friday? Like literally, people from the marketing team, people from the other departments like HR, admin, Mamita Bell's in training, I believe, and she coaches almost every single day, I think. And you're going to be training here at Sphere Rocket whenever you need help in the group chat. Just ask, hi, I need help with this and that. And there will be so many VAs who will support you and who will help you. So that's a really good thing about becoming a VA here. And now we're going to move on to our. Wait, one last question before my last question. From Carl Cast. Just to clarify or confirm, will I be classified as a non experienced VA if I only have a theoretical knowledge on a specific niche skill but doesn't have a client yet to apply the skills that I've learned? Okay, so he has knowledge, he knows what he's talking about, but never siya nagka-client. So is he a non experienced VA?
Yes. Having an experienced an experience as a virtual assistant, that means you have an experience working directly with international clients. So this is a remote kind of setup. There are different industries for that. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, you will be considered a non-experienced VA if you haven't had that experience of working directly with an international client.
Right, right. Because if you are an experienced VA, that means you either came from another agency, that means you were doing
Yes.
freelancing before, or you just had like a client na, I don't know, you found from another website. Okay, so we hope we answered your question, Carl Cass. Di pala ako, si Bella pala. And I keep getting I keep getting your what's the word? I keep saying that I answered it, but I didn't. RYT. Oh, by the way, hello, Ma'am Janice. She commented some cute emojis. RYT says, Sphere Rocket amazes me as it gives newbies a chance to enter into the VA world, hoping
Yes.
that I'll pass the assessment and get hired on my first interview. Aw, good luck,
Uh,
RYT! And yes, so many non-experienced VAs are part of Sphere Rocket. That is 100% true. And that's something that we're very proud of. That's something na we're confident about when it comes to helping newbies land their first client. So thank you. Thank you for watching. Okay, so last question. Bella, this is my favorite one. My favorite question. How important is self-care and well-being for aspiring and established virtual assistants in the Philippines? Like, what are some important values that play into self-care?
right. So I believe that your lifestyle should not compromise your work and vice versa. Because what keeps the fuel are the things that you do outside work. So if you're working for 8 hours, you have to maximize the time. You should this is why you should improve your skills and help yourself grow, because once you were able to accomplish that, you'll be able to work with your task more effectively, and then you will have fewer backlogs, actually zero to no backlogs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important that you care for yourself. The good thing about working from home is that you don't have to travel. You don't have, you know, uh, to make time to buy food somewhere, something like that.
Right.
There are less
Commute, be in the
expenses for
traffic.
yes, because one of the things that actually bothers us, or which we, what makes our day worse most of the
Stresses us
time, is
out.
the stress. Yes, pollution, the stress, and all that. But if you're just working from home, all of the resources are there. So it is a really good one. So yeah, I hope that answers your questions
I
though.
love that. No, it's so true. I think what you said made sense. My favorite thing that you said is your lifestyle should not compromise your work. That's so true. Like you still have a life. You're a person outside of your work. So don't put so much, I don't know, like pressure into yourself when it comes to that. Like, do your best. It is still your work, especially if you're working from home. You have a lot of freedom to eat whenever you want, get up and drink water if you're
Yes.
getting busy or whatever, and step away from the computer when you need to recharge. But at the same time, like, you have to know that it's okay to be having other goals outside of work. Like your work does not define you as a person about your
Yes.
success. It doesn't mean that you're not worthy of anything if you're doing a very bad job at work or you're just having bad days at work. Like don't define yourself as that. That's not bad. And there's a continuation to that question, Bella. What self-care practices or routines have you found particularly beneficial in maintaining your passion and drive?
Okay. Routine. It actually starts with personal life. So I, as much as possible, I try to keep my personal life away from work and vice
Mm-hmm.
versa. So I'm not really the kind to share with people anything about my personal life, But what I do on a daily basis is I have to make sure that I'm following the routine. So consistency is what makes us like it gives us the motivation to go to work,
Yeah.
do our thing. Because I do not know if I have told this other people. I'm an athlete actually, so
Maka-athlete
yes, I'm a
yan.
full-time athlete, and at the same time I'm working full-time at Sphere. I'm still able to do my sports, and at the same time I'm able to work from home. So it's just a really balanced life. That's what keeps my drive because I wanted to finish my job as soon as possible. Once I log out, I do not want to be working anymore.
Exactly.
It's just I'm doing extra mile because I love my job. I'm very passionate at it, just as how passionate I am with my sports. So yeah, I think it's very important that you care for yourself. You do what you gotta do. When you work, you gotta work. So it's,
Yes.
it's all about productivity. With outside or when you're on the workplace.
I love that. And everything that you're saying now reminds me of Michelle, which is our marketing manager. Pagbigyan niyo na ako, okay? Because like I'm in the marketing team, so that's all I can relate to, okay? And Michelle, she always tells us to take care of herself. She always makes sure that we're doing well, and when one of us is not performing, she can tell. She can tell if we're not in the right headspace. Like for me personally, I was going through a lot in the first few months of 2023. Cue sad music. Joke. No, I was just going through huge changes in my life, and it impacted my work. I was doing my best, and I thought that I could, like kind of balance it out, and I wasn't being very honest with my teammates or myself. Nah, guys, I'm really struggling. Like what I'm going through with my personal life right now, it was so heavy. And yeah, my manager, she kind of like picked up on that, and she didn't give up on me, or she didn't give up on any of us. And until now, she still checks up on us weekly, like how's it going, like how are you, because she knows that if we're not taking care of ourselves, it's going to show up in our work. But yeah,
Yes.
Bella, it's amazing that you're doing your best to balance your life as a full-time athlete and also a full-time VA here at Sea Rocket. We are so thankful. We are so
Thank you
grateful
so much.
and blessed to have you as part of the team because you have contributed so much, especially with the sourcing department and how you had to kind of build it up from scratch. That's not easy, you know. But yeah, guys, that is it. Oh, we have here, yeah, okay, we have here one more question. Guys, if you have more questions, now's the time, because we're gonna end the podcast soon. Coming from Share. I think they're shy. They don't want to say their real name. Okay lang yan. Share. They said, is it polite to ask how much is Sphere Rocket salary? No, it's not polite. Joke. No, it's okay. It's totally fine. Of course, we can say, how much is the hourly rate usually, Bella?
Okay, well, we start from for non-experienced VAs is $3 an hour and $4 an hour. However, I would like to make this clear that it will still depend on your experiences and like what are the skills that you can offer for the client. So that is
Right.
negotiable.
Okay. Hope that makes sense. Again, I'm just going to repeat what she said. If you are a non-experienced VA, it is $3 to $4. That is the usual. Okay. But if you are one with experience, or, it's going to depend on your client as well and the skills that you can show, your past experience, that can go up pa. Okay. Because I know a lot of VAs who have, here at Sphere Rocket, it depends on their client talaga. Okay, so yeah, I hope we answered. Wow, you're the first one who asked about salary. Usually, that's the first question we get. How much do you make at Sphere Rocket? So that's actually our last question. We're gonna wrap it up. Again, anything you want to say, Bella? Any last words that you want to say to the viewers who are watching right now?
Right. So to the viewers who are watching right now, I think we answered all of your questions, and it's really important that if you wanted to do something, you have to go for it because
Yeah.
it won't come. The word manifest. You have to manifest with hard work. So it comes with hard work because you have to work on it before you can get anything that is applicable in real life, that is applicable at work, wherever you want to go, and your goals will take you anywhere. Because as you can see, there are different paths. So there could be like 5 paths. You do not know where to go, but at the end of the day, you only have one goal. So you have to keep an eye on that while your feet is on the ground. So keep it humble, keep it low. Surprise people. You can do that. You can do.
Yes,
You can
you
do. You can become
can.
whatever you wanted to be. Just you
Of course, you can
try.
do it.
Yes.
Exactly, Bella. Yay! Well, that is it. Thank you so much. A lot of people are saying thank you. Shout out to Ma'am Camille. She's still watching. Paolo, thank you also for watching
Thank you,
the
everyone. Thank you, Miss
podcast.
Camille.
Bella, thank you.
Thanks for
I had
having.
a blast having a conversation with you. I had a blast speaking with you, learning from you, and just Christ. Thank you so much, Bella. That is it, guys. So, if you want to apply, you can go to www.spherejobs.ph. We are hiring different types of job positions every single day. Follow us on TikTok, on our Instagram, and our Facebook, of course, because like I mentioned earlier, we're always posting new job positions there. We're always posting interview tips. We're posting work from home content that you might enjoy. So, just find us on our social media. Okay, goodbye. Good night, guys.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so
Bye
much for
bye.
watching.
Thank you.
Want to apply as a Sphere Rocket virtual assistant? Well, look no further because this video is for you. I will be telling you which requirements you will need to submit in order to apply to our new website, plus a few tips and tricks to help you with your initial interview. We have achieved a better way for you to send in your application, so let's begin. Step 1. Visit our website
at www.spherejobs.ph.
Step 2. Fill in the application by inputting your full name, email, number, and other questions that you will need to answer in order to move on to the next step. Step number 3. Send screenshots of your updated CV, Tony Robbins PDF result, internet speed screenshot with a minimum of 10 Mbps, a scanned copy of your government ID, and your portfolio with sample works. Step 4. Click the submit button and wait patiently for our email. Now here are some tips on how to stand out during your initial interview. Tip number 1. Dress up as if you were going to an in-person interview. Wearing something formal will give the interviewer a sign that you are serious about applying to this job role. Tip number 2. Find a quiet space where your interview will be held. There's nothing worse than getting distracted by the noise around you and not being able to understand what the interviewer is saying. Tip number 3. Be yourself and show up as confidently as you can. Know what you bring to the table and honor your worth. Interested in becoming a part of our team? Submit your application now
at www.spherejobs.ph.
Good luck!